I'm Ronald Strozier. I'm from Miami, Florida.
I'm Latanya Strozier, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. We've been together for 3 years.
How long you been married?
8.75 months.
Well, you got that down. Oh, you got that down. 41 and 47. What made you decide to get married at what would some would consider late or this late?
I don't think it's like late, not to me. To me, it was all on God's timing. Because I could have married anybody, I just didn't.
Oh no, you couldn't have married anybody.
I had set goals. I didn't want to marry anybody just yet. I wanted to make sure I had myself together before I got married. So to me, it's not really late.
Well, I hadn't been married before. I think with me, it was, I kind of want to say recreate myself, if that makes sense. Like whatever mistakes I made in my past marriage, I wanted to correct them before I married Latanya.
The playoffs party.
Yep, Jacksonville Jaguars game before the Super Bowl.
We thought they was gonna go to the Super Bowl. Remember, everybody was repping Jacksonville at that time. Yeah, but they didn't make it.
Yep.
Y'all a little hurt by that?
No, I'm not, because I'm a Dolphin fan.
Well, I'm from here, so hey.
So what happened? You was sitting across the room.
What happened was I was sitting across the room and he had just came in. It was actually my best friend at the time. They worked together. So he had came in and he sat down and he was like, hey, everybody. Bought him, some little prizes at the little party. I'm going to say what you bought, but you bought something at the party. So everybody was like, oh,
I had my drink.
It was like, oh, okay, and speaking. So I kept texting my dad on my phone about the game. And he said that I was texting somebody else, my dude, because I kept staying on my phone and looking at the game and going back and forth. So he said I was talking to somebody else, but the whole time I'm thinking he looking at somebody else at the party. He walked in, I just thought he was cute. I was like, oh, you're handsome, okay, and kept going. Because at that time I was going through my stage where I'm done. I don't want to date nobody. I'm done. I'm good. I'm just doing me. I'm good. So
And the old boy walked through the door.
No, that ain't what you did. No, I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
So after the party, he stayed back. He was the only guy that stayed back. And I never forget, he was leaning on the wall and he had a drink in his hand. I said, you might want to slow down on your drinking. You're getting ready to go, aren't you? He was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So I was like, okay. So I left, went in the room somewhere, came back out, and he was standing in the hall, and there was some more people standing in the hall, and he looked at our daughter, or his daughter at the time.
Yeah, you skipped all that part. You got to go to the part to where she was crying. And what did I say?
I'll get into that part.
Go ahead.
He said, his daughter was crying. He said, go over there to your new stepmama. So everybody that was in the hallway looked at each other like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? And she was just looking so lost. She was like looking around. Everybody looking like, well, who are you talking to? And he was like, you right there. So when he pointed, it was like, who you pointing at? He was like, you. And I was like, me? And he was like, yeah, you. And it just started from there. So we just had a conversation.
She was playing with some other kids, and she was in the room. For whatever reason, she came out crying. And her best friend, which is my friend at the time, she sent over there to me, and I was like, well, what's the problem? And she said she was hungry. I said, well, go on over there to your new stepmom and tell her to fix you something to eat. I would say her demeanor. She, because you can look at a person and tell how they carry themselves. Well, I know how I carry myself, so I'm looking at her, I'm like, okay, she carrying herself well. You get a lot of people, or a lot of women that don't carry themselves too good. And when I saw she was down to earth, she was cool, she seemed like a easy person to talk to, so.
His conversation, he didn't come off as just like any other guy that I ever dated. It was just his conversation was a little different. He wasn't trying to just take me off somewhere. Hey, I want to take you out of town. We can ready to go spend this and spend that. And we already know what that's going to end up to as payback. And him, he was just a little different. It was just like, I want to get to know you. We talked on the phone the whole night.
That same night?
Yeah. We talked on the phone all the way till we had to go to work in the morning. I think we probably got, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Late? That's it.
So y'all was back in middle school.
I know
Yeah.
it felt that way. It was like, hey.
So
You hang up. No, you hang up.
so you,
Just by the way he talked, the way he delivered it. It wasn't just like, most guys, what's up, how you doing? He wasn't like that. It was just like, my name is Ronald. He gave me everything. My name is Ronald, how old he was, where he was from. Most guys don't do that. Well, most guys I used to deal with, what's up? What's good, little mama? How you doing? He didn't come up like that. Initially said I didn't want a man with kids.
She prayed and wrote it down.
Yeah, I wrote down everything. Everything I wrote down, and I prayed on it, and I left it in God's hands. And then he came like literally like the next year. Like I'm like, okay, where did this come from? And he said he did the same thing. So I'm like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, okay. That's how I came off. So it wasn't nothing like, okay, you have kids, all right. I did say I didn't want a man with kids, but when I prayed, I said I didn't want a man with no more than 1 or 2 kids. So it's,
you was specific. You got it.
I got 1 kid.
I say that we didn't date
I knew it was gonna say
because I'm looking at, as far as dating, it's a long process. By me knowing what I wanted at the time, I know what I want at the time. It was okay. I'm not trying to do no dating. Either we gonna do this or we not gonna do this. That was my mentality. So,
What were you looking for?
a wife. I wasn't trying to do no dating. I hadn't did that. I was finished with that.
At first, I label it as just talking. It was just talking. It took a while for him to get introduced to my family, for me to go out, just to introduce him to my friends. It was just talking. I didn't want to label it because I was scared. I was scared if I label it, then it was gonna go away.
She had
It
a
wasn't gonna
guard.
work. Yeah, I did. I had my guard up.
So once you labeled it and said we're dating, did anything change?
Well, I was scared it was, but it didn't.
When did you realize that your guard was down? And when you realized it, did that scare you?
When I gave him a key to the door. When I gave him a key to my house, it was like, okay, my guard is down. And yeah, it did scare me a little bit because I was like, okay, I'm giving this man a key to my home. And what if this happened? What if that happened? This is where I lay my head every night.
It took a long time for me to actually know where she stayed at, because every time we talked, we would go either to the river walk or we would meet in a parking lot and just hold a conversation.
We went on a date.
We went on our first date.
The next weekend after we met.
Yeah, we went to Bahama Breeze. I had a Lincoln at the time. I had to clean the Lincoln up, shining, and went in, met her, the type of person I am. I didn't want her to feel like it was just gonna be about sex, because like I hadn't already told her, I was looking for a wife. I didn't want that to play a part in it.
And that was different for me as well. So we actually waited. It made things better for me, but I didn't think it had any strings. Did you? Because we came off rip saying, "This is not what I want. If you're looking for it, you're not getting it from here." Sorry,
Yeah, because
that's not what I'm doing.
She actually said she was you was celibate.
Celibate. I was celibate for a whole year.
So with all of this, y'all have worked through that. How long was it for you between divorce meeting Tanya?
I got my divorce in 2013. We met in 2018. But I had,
But you were
at that
dating.
particular year, I had just got out of a relationship at that time. I think it was like maybe 3 months.
I think you told me in October or something.
Yeah, somewhere around
You
there.
were fresh out.
Did that bother you or scare you at all?
No, because I still had my guard up, so no.
And the reason why I got out of that relationship is because the person that I was dating, I told them the same thing. I was like, I'm not trying to play house. And they was like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I was like, okay, so no, this is not where I want to be. Okay, so the proposal happened the day after Thanksgiving. We actually went to the mall. We were shopping for Christmas gifts. She went one way.
You talked to my dad.
Oh yeah, I spoke to her dad first. I actually asked him Thanksgiving Day.
No.
Was it Thanksgiving? Yeah.
Was it Thanksgiving Day?
Mm-hmm. I told him I didn't want to make any decisions without his approval, so I asked him, could I have his daughter's hand in marriage, and he would say yes. So that next day, we went to the mall. She didn't know I was going to get the ring.
Did you tell him when you was going to propose?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
She didn't know I was going to get the ring, but we was actually in the mall. When she walked off, she said, hey, I'm finna go over there. I said, okay, all right, I'm gonna be right here. So I went to the jewelry store and got the ring, and I'm like, hey, y'all need to hurry up because she gonna be coming in a little bit. I don't want her to see me over here. So purchased the ring, and it was like, you want me to put it in the box? I say no, because she gonna know. Well, you can put it in the bag. No, Give it here, put it in this little bag. I'll put it in my pocket. So got the ring, put it in my pocket, and we got home later that night.
No, we was driving, and what did you say?
I don't remember what I said.
If I propose to you tonight, what you gonna do? You gonna let me do it my way? That's what you said.
Oh yeah, because she kept asking me, well, how you gonna propose? And I told her,
But
I'm gonna have my
I already knew he was gonna propose. We had already talked about marriage like the first week when we met. So we had already looked at rings. So I already knew he was gonna propose, just didn't know when.
Wait, now, something ain't making sense. You had your guard up.
Yep.
You wasn't sure.
we wasn't, because we weren't sure when we was going to get married or whatever, but I still had my guard up. I knew he was going to be there, but I still had my guard up just in case you let me down, just in case.
So did that early on? You said that was within the first week, right, y'all?
Yeah, that was in the first week.
Did you know he was the one?
Kinda. I did, but I wouldn't tell him. So I made sure I still had my guard up, just in case I was going to be let down.
Okay, go back to the car.
So we got home, and she was in the restroom doing something, and I was on the floor. I said, okay, I need to propose now. So I was kneeling down. I had 2 knee surgeries. So I made it seem like I couldn't get up. I was like, babe, come help me up. Come help me up. I said, I was looking for something up under the couch. I can't get up right now. I'm stuck. So as she came out, I had already pulled the ring out of my pocket and pulled it out the bag. And she was like, come on. And I held her hand and I stayed down. I said, Latanya Thomas, would you do me the honors of being my wife? And she was like, you serious? I'm like, yeah. You gonna say yes or no? And she said yes. So.
Now, that was your dream proposal?
No.
No, that was not my dream proposal. I didn't want to be around like family and friends when the proposal hit, but I want to be somewhere special.
It was. We was home.
You mine now. That's what he kept saying. I got a ring on it. You mine now.
I never gave up on love. Some people, after they get their divorce, they give up on love, period.
I did. I gave up. I was done. I didn't need no man in my life. I was good. Then he came along, and I was like, oh, okay.
Were you happy when you were single, or were you?
She wasn't.
Oh,
She wasn't.
How was I not happy? You wasn't there.
She wasn't happy. She didn't get happy till I put that ring on her.
Oh yeah. So I wasn't happy single.
Nah, you wasn't.
How you know? You ain't know me.
That's all right.
Oh, you was watching over me.
I was watching
But then
over
you shouldn't have married me right out of high school then.
Saved you all that
Right.
Yes.
What does pursuing that look like for y'all?
It's gonna happen.
No hurry.
It is a hurry, but whenever happen.
Did you have any preconceived notions about counseling?
I did. Well, I didn't want to go with nobody that he knew. I want to go with somebody we didn't know together.
How about you?
I didn't because like I said, I knew y'all were just gonna be straightforward. Didn't matter if he knew me or not.
So what was your first day with counseling with Jared like?
It was beat up on me. It was question after question after question. It was just, I felt like the questions were geared towards me. I felt like he didn't get that many questions. Well, when we left, we was like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. It was okay. I told you it was going to be good. I told you it was going to be.
Well, my aha moment was, I think when we were discussing my mom, and I would every time my mom called, I would run and pick up the phone, and it's like more of my attention was on my mom instead of my fiance at the time. And when he explained to me okay, now you're getting ready to marry this woman, so you're gonna have to balance it out. You know, you can't, every time your phone rings, you don't have to pick it up every time. If it's not a life or death situation, then you don't have to pick it up every time. This is soon to be your wife, so you're gonna have to get used to that.
Did you have an issue, not necessarily an issue with his mother, but with that relationship, did you feel threatened by relationship with his mother?
I didn't feel threatened by her. I just told him because he runs so much back and forth. Told him he didn't have to run so much going back and forth to her house. It's like the littlest thing she'll call for. It's like, you don't have to keep running to her house. Tell her you will be there in the morning because you're going to see her in the morning. She's fine.
She considered me as a mama's boy. And
you are.
No, I'm not.
What did your mom say when she met me?
I'm not.
What did she say?
I'm not. It's my time, dog.
But what did she say? What did your mom say?
Look, okay,
She'll always be my baby.
That was the first time y'all met?
Yes.
That's what she told her, but I'm not a mama's boy. See, you don't make me forget what I was about to say.
That's because it wasn't no good.
Okay, I know what I was about to say. I have an older brother that lives here as well. And when I met Tanya, I was staying with my mom. So when my oldest brother came, and when I was there, my oldest brother didn't come around as often. So the only person that she really could call was me. So I kind of felt like, it was my duty to make sure that she was okay. So
I would say more patient. Love never changed. Every now and again I throw up. Remember what Jared said? Jared said, put your phone away, because I have a big issue with his phone and his Facebook.
You addicted to Facebook?
not really. I just stroll.
Yes.
I just stroll, and if I see something that catch my eye, I'll comment on it. Her thing is, when it's our time, she wants that attention on her. So I have been working on putting my phone up and giving her that undivided attention.
I'll say a C. I wouldn't totally fail you because you have tried, but I wouldn't say a B or A. No, you ain't made that. No, you haven't.
I'll take that.
So do you require a lot of attention?
Yeah, I do.
She told me that when we first met.
I do.
And did you take that into account going forward? Or?
He didn't believe it.
No, I didn't. I think that was because of how I was working, because I was constantly at work. and it slowed down a little bit for me. Once I had one job, then she helped me get a second job. So my mindset was on making money.
That put a strain on the relationship at all?
Yeah, he had no time for me. You need to get some time for me. At the same time, I'm happy when he's making money, but at the same time, when you're off, I mean, I know you're tired. There is a little time you could give me. Hey, let's go on a date. Let's do something. It ain't got to be a whole day. Give me like a couple hours, and then you're done. The attention he needs from me is if we're not together. If we're not together, that's when he's blowing me up. Where are you at? What time you coming home? If we're together, he doesn't need the attention. If that makes any sense.
Y'all can be in the same house and he's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't need the attention. The
But you go out with
attention.
your girls.
We could sit on the couch. He could be right there. I'm over here. If I'm away from the house, you're blowing me up. What store you going to now? Where are you at now? What you doing in that store? Who's that hitting the background? It sounds like you out somewhere else. That's the attention.
I think it is more so of, you told me you was gonna be at this place. You said you was coming back. You ain't back yet.
And then catch
Where you
attitude
at?
when I get home.
Do it.
Why?
I say
I think
do it
it'll help you in the long run.
because it's gonna help you in the long run. It's
The
gonna
communication part, definitely.
and it's gonna help you better understand yourself as well. Your flaws, someone else may see your flaws better than you can, because sometimes you could be self-centered, and I would say just not knowing, just kind of like ignorant to your own self. So yeah, do it.
I would say do it because of the communication. And like you said, the long run, the long haul, you're going to need that.
Had you never met Jock, what do you think your marriage would be like?
I think we probably have to go to counseling. I mean, we're human. We bicker, argue.
Yeah.
We're human. So yeah, we need to go to counseling.
With patience, listening, focus. It's the way we love. It's the way we love. With surprises, check-ins, and sacrifice.